under no circumstances, you are promising America tonight, you would never abuse power as retribution against anybody.
Except for day one.
In the lead-up to the 2024 election, something strange started happening. Some major players, tech elites, politicians, even popular podcasters started lining up behind Donald Trump. And these were not just quiet supporters. These were people who once swore they would never back him. Some of them even compared him to Hitler. But over time, one by one, they started bending the knee. So why? Why the sudden shift? To understand that, you have got to start with Trump's ultimate act of defiance, January 6th. After losing the 2020 election, Trump did not just walk away, he doubled down.
If you count the legal votes, I easily win. If you count the illegal votes, they can try to steal the election from us.
He went from bending the rules of presidential power to openly challenging democracy itself. He called the election stolen, not just to save face, but to stay in power. Trump had always pushed boundaries, but this was the first time he flat out tried to overthrow the very system that made him president. Let us rewind a bit. When the Founding Fathers built our government, they designed it with checks and balances, 3 branches: the executive, the legislative, and the judicial. Each one limits the power of the others. The president of the executive branch is not a king. He does not write the laws. He does not interpret the laws. He is there to enforce the laws passed by Congress and interpreted by the courts. Why? Because our Constitution was written to prevent tyranny. James Madison, one of the Founding Fathers and the 4th U.S. President, said it best: "The accumulation of all powers, legislative, executive, and judiciary, in the same hands, whether of one, a few, or many, and whether hereditary, self-appointed, or elective, may justly be pronounced the very definition of tyranny." When Trump tried to overturn the election, when he sent a fake slate of electors and pressured Mike Pence to toss out the vote, that was not just unethical, that was tyrannical. And had he succeeded, it would have marked the end of American democracy. We are the longest-standing democracy in the world. And the first words of our Constitution: "We the people make it clear, the government serves the people, not the other way around." Mike Pence made the right call. In a true act of patriotism, he refused to go along with the plan. He upheld the electoral process and in doing so defended our democracy. But here is the scary part. There were no real consequences for Trump, no accountability, and that opened the door for him to try again. Many of the people who were part of his first administration walked away. Some even spoke out, including his own vice president. So Trump rebuilt his team. But this time, it was not about competence. It was about loyalty. He filled the void with people who would do whatever he asked. No questions, no pushback. One of the most prominent people to fall in line was Elon Musk. At one point, Musk was seen as a progressive tech visionary, a humanitarian, and an environmentalist, and he rose to become the richest man in the world off the backs of those ideas. But something changed. Back in 2018, the SEC fined him for tweeting about taking Tesla private, which, by the way, is illegal. That sparked a long feud between Musk, the SEC, and eventually Twitter. He went from loving the platform to attacking it. And after Trump's loss in 2020, Musk saw an opportunity. He rebranded himself as a champion of free speech. But his real goal was not free speech. It was control. Buying Twitter gave him a powerful platform. He used it to amplify his voice, attack his critics, and slowly align himself with far-right rhetoric. His purchase of Twitter was riddled with controversy, and it became clear that his intentions were no longer about protecting free speech, but about shaping the conversation to serve his own interests. True freedom begets responsibility. There are some things we do not allow people to say because they infringe upon other people's safety and freedom. For example, if you are harassed in your workplace, that is not protected by free speech. Elon Musk's company Tesla has been sued for this very reason.
We just want to be treated and seen as equal human beings.
This morning, a former Tesla contract worker speaking out after a San Francisco federal court decided the electric car maker must pay him $137 million over claims he suffered racist abuse at the company. Owen Diaz, who was hired through a staffing agency in 2015 as an elevator operator at Tesla's factory in Fremont, told the court he faced a hostile work environment where employees drew swastikas and racist graffiti on bathroom stalls, where coworkers told him to go back to Africa, and ethnic slurs were heard routinely.
Blatant hypocrisy aside, instead of creating a true free speech platform, Musk made it a playground for hate and disinformation. You cannot even type words like cisgender anymore, while openly racist accounts are being boosted. Tweet by tweet, Musk's real agenda came into focus. He was not just critiquing the left, he was waging a full-on war against it. He said he would not support a presidential candidate and then turned around and tied himself to Trump's fascist rhetoric. So why did he do it? Simple. Power. By owning Twitter, Musk gained the influence he needed not just to shape the national conversation, but to secure a seat at the table of political power. And let us not forget, the US government gave Musk over $38 billion in subsidies and loans, almost the value of Twitter itself.
And we don't need the $7,500 tax credit. I would say, honestly, I would just can this whole bill. Don't pass it. That's my recommendation.
What about the support though for the charging network? I mean, there are parts of this bill and no.
No, I mean, do we need support for gas stations? We don't. So there's no need for this for support for a charging network. I would delete it. Delete.
Okay. All right.
I'm literally saying get rid of all subsidies. But also for oil and gas.
If you think about also how this affects your competitors, does that impact how some of your view on this?
I mean, maybe they need it. I don't know.
He is now positioned to help investigate government waste while profiting from it more than almost anyone else. For $44 billion, Elon Musk bought a megaphone, sold out his country, and secured his place in Trump's orbit.
I want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
And here is the real danger. Our government's failure to hold powerful figures like Trump and Musk accountable is tearing this country apart. Our Constitution was not written for men like them. It was written to stop men like them. And make no mistake, they will keep pushing, stripping away rights, step by step. Civil rights, abortion rights, protections for immigrants, even basic safeguards for public workers, all under attack.
This morning, President Trump is not ruling out the possibility of seeking a third term, even though it's prohibited by the Constitution's 22nd Amendment. He's joked about it at rallies.
It will be the greatest honor of my life to serve not once, but twice, or 3 times, or 4 times.
But now, in an exclusive phone interview with NBC's Kristen Welker, he says that there are, quote, methods for doing so, and that a lot of people want me to do it. Asked to clarify, he said, I'm not joking, but added it is far too early to think about it.
No one, no matter how rich, how famous, or how powerful, is above the Constitution.